This is video number 2, part B. Okay, so we've just plugged the radio in, put the antenna into it. It's an 18 channel GE-B model. There's no TX, shouldn't be any TX on this, yes. There's no TX. Not even the slightest. Go to 3 watts. No. Nothing. Nothing on the display. NBA and L works. Tone high. Yep. I'll just stick a dummy load in another radio and test to see if it's receiving. Okay, the choice of radio, just to check the receive on this, is a TRC 451 going into a dummy load. TX. Very, very minor amount of receive. Alright, but altogether quite happy. I'm going to clean this up, start pulling it apart and having a look at it. Thank you. Okay, I'm back with the radio lid off, just having a look. As we can see over the radio, the areas that you immediately look for with these radios are obviously the O2A chip to see whether there's been any cuts and modifications done there. So far it's looking pretty good. And that generally classifies then, we start to look at what sort of people have been in here. You know, then we have a look at the VCO. The VCO, I've just put a multimeter on this to test point 2, which is just there, which is showing oh, 0.1 of a microvolt and nothing there. So it's there's nothing to the VCO. Alright, so what we need to do is check the voltage. Okay, so there's 3.1 volts on that side. .34 on that side, and 0.2. It's playing funny buggers. Alright. I'm just going to play around with the receive on this and do a bit of minor tuning to see if I can bring it back. Okay, got the top board out. Took only about 5 minutes. These things are pretty easy once you get used to it. Alright, so what I'm going to work on, I'll just get a pointer. So I'm just going to do some desoldering here. In this area here, there seemed to be some dry joint there. I'm going to replace this cap, and I'm going to go through and replace all the other caps, electrolytics on the surface here. Roughly around an hour's work. Okay, we're back. A bit of work later, and you can see some additions. Alright, it's probably one of the worst that I've had to come up against. Okay, so I've run a jumper from this lug here to this track here. Careful to put in enough bend on it to take the tension off it. I've run another one from this vertical terminal to this vertical terminal. Run another one from this vertical terminal to this vertical terminal here. Now I cleaned the area, I replaced the cap, and I want to show you underneath. This is what's hidden. This is what you don't see. All right. Okay, back again. All right, so I've gone through and installed all the jumpers. I've replaced all of the caps. They're the ones with the red dot on the top of them. Now, on the underneath of the board, I found a lot of dry joints. And generally up and around the PA stage, where the solder is very thin, you remove and reflow, which how I've done. Another situation that we had was down and around all this area here. Under the microscope, I could see rust on the surface of the solder. So after a clean, I went through and reflowed probably about 98% of this whole board. So that's all been done. I'm now in the process of removing the PLL down here, because I'm going to install a PLL holder, and when I have more I'll show more. Okay, the covers are almost ready to go back on. We've gone through and installed the, you can see the PLL housing, and that's the work for today. Audio 1, 2. So we've actually got it receiving now. There's still no TX. I'm going to have a bit more of a fiddle. However, that's a positive step forward considering where we started from this morning. All right, thank you for listening. Okay, another video for today. Had a bit of success. We've got receive. Now I've also got transmit. I've just got it on the auto tuner now. Right, we've calibrated it for 5 watts. Showing 5 watts there on the 20 watt scale. And what have I done? Changed over the VCO for another VCO that I had lying around, which was actually slightly faulty, so I worked on that. There's actually a dry joint in here somewhere on the board, or a cracked track, which I've got to go over with a magnifying glass tomorrow sometime, because when I push on the VCO, it actually it disconnects. I also went through and aligned all of the TX stage, and it's good. Thank you. Okay, back again. Alright, I've just desoldered or played around with the top board and found some more dry joints, and they were in front of the VCO, just in and around the crystal here. So what I did was, I haven't bored you with this, but I've gone through and desoldered all of this and reflowed it again through here, through the cans. Didn't touch the PLL, didn't need to, but I did go through and went through over all the jumpers again where the loom plugs in on the back of the board, and I went through all of the top side of the board. And redid all of these through connections like this one, This one, as you can see, there are many of them. Went through and redid all of these connections again, and what we've got is a pretty stable radio and transmit now. So if we go there, okay, we go there, I'll put it down to channel 1. There we go, 27015, it's channel 1, and there we go. Disregard the AWI, I've disconnected the tuner. Alright, looks good, very happy with that. Now we just need to get there's a couple of noises coming through on receive. We can hear the clicking noise. And we'll go through and look at that at another time. Hope you enjoyed this series today. It's come a long way from a dead radio. No receive, transmit, replacing the caps, redoing all of the pinouts on all the boards, and we've got a product now that's now transmitting. Replace the VCO with another VCO. I'm going to order a couple of VCOs from a manufacturer over the course of the week. All right, thank you very much for watching.